Next characters I make. Oh fuck, where's my phone? Holy shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, until you can make a hybrid vehicle last 200,000 miles. Until you can make a hybrid. Anyway, so I'm saying, my goodness. Until you can make a hybrid vehicle last 200,000 miles, you shouldn't even be making an electric vehicle. Because those batteries last like 100,000, and then just that's it. They don't hold fucking charges anymore. They're just like phone batteries. Um, this way. Yes. I'm gonna crack my okay. Oh wow, shoulder pads right off the bat. Okay. Oh shit, hold on.
Wait, really?
The
That's
Diremal
it?
dungeon is
Oh,
also the
shit.
stage for the finale of the Warlock Epic Mount quest
Okay.
chain, where they get their Dread Steed. This is another huge undertaking, and another I think is best saved for its own video. To sum it up though, Warlocks can embark on a large quest chain where the globe
This is
travel
over
over
in
the world and get some
Burning
reagents,
Steps.
and it climaxes in the western wing of Diremal, where you use these reagents to summon the Dreadlord, Helnarath, and take his steed. He drops some unique loot, and the items are reusable, so a lot of Warlocks keep them for some bonus loot whenever.
We actually did this in current WoW. Like, if you have the items to go summon this guy again from back in the day, you can actually go back and summon him even today. It's one of the coolest, most badass fucking things ever. I cannot wait to do this again.
They run the dungeon, or they just want to help another Warlock with their quest. So, again, I went through that kind of quickly. I'll have a link to a full text guide in the description if you want more detail. And next, we have some Scholomance keys. To zone into the dungeon, you need the skeleton key, which you get from a quest chain. If you're Alliance, you want to head to Commander Ashland Valorfist, located right here in the Chillwind Point in the Western Plaguelands. And if you're Horde, you need to talk to the High Executor Darrington at the Bulwark, which is right here at the border near Tearsfall Glades. You need to complete the following prerequisite quests before you can obtain the quest chain for the key, simply titled Scholomance. Again, kind of going through this quickly, you have to collect skeletal fragments from the undead, and bring those and 15 gold.
This is literally what we're doing right fucking now. This is great, because I have no idea how to get into Scholomance. I have no fucking idea.
To Crinkle Goodsteel and Gadget Sand, and you bring that to the top of the Fireplume Ridge volcano in the neighboring Ungoro crater, and forge the key.
Okay.
And lastly, you get a group quest to kill Arach the Summoner, who's an elite lich found in the undead town of Anderhal. As a reward for all of this, you get the skeleton key, which unlocks the door. And next, we have another boss summon, and it's the Blood of the Innocents.
This is Katronos the Herald.
Entering this big crypt room, off to the right is a balcony with a brazier, and if you use the blood here, you summon Katronos
This is
the
one of the
Herald,
most badass
who's an
areas in the
boss
game.
that drops some nice loot, including the warrior's valor boots. To get the blood, you have to complete a short quest chain. Outside the dungeon is Eva Sarkar, and she asks you to kill the doctor, Theolan Krastanov, and to bring the remains of her slain family. You can find him near the end of the dungeon in the eastern room on the upper level. Next, you need to kill Jandis Barov and loot her bag of horrors. She can be found in the crypts right here.
This shit was scary.
And for the last part, you need to take out Kirtonos and are given the blood of innocence to summon him. The blood is consumed on use, but from this point forward, you can loot them from the blood steward Succubus, who roams the big lobby room near the entrance.
Okay.
And next, we have the viewing room key. You need this to reach the end of the dungeon and get past this locked door in the poison zombie room, and you simply loot it from the Rattlegore boss found in the basement right here. Note that only one drops, and once used, it's destroyed, so essentially you have to kill him every time.
That's
and
kind of
lastly,
annoying.
For Scholomance, we have the Divination Scryer.
It's not that big of a deal, but
Very
it's kind of
similar
annoying.
to the Warlock summon that we talked about earlier. You get this from the Epic Mount quest chain for Paladins this time, and it climaxes in the basement of Scholomance in the same room as Rattlegore, and you defeat a Death Knight named Dark Reaver. Just like Helnerath, he drops some unique loot. So
Yeah, this one was unfortunately taken out of the fucking game. I'm very, very upsetting for that. It's very upsetting that they took it out of the game. But like, since the new Scholomance doesn't even have this area in the game anymore, you literally can't even fight this guy, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Blizzard implemented a way to summon him more than once.
You guys know what I'm saying.
You use an item called the Divination Scryer to start the event, which is consumed on use, but if you go to Lord Grayson's Shadowbreaker in the Stormwind Cathedral, he'll offer you another one free of charge, so you can summon the boss over and over. And next up, we have the Stratholme keys. First is the key to the city, which unlocks the back entrance, located right here in the Eastern Plaguelands.
How do you get this?
This gives you quick access to what is called the undead portion of the dungeon. You loot the key from a mob inside, so for your first run, you'll have to go through the main entrance to the west.
Right.
You can also have a rogue lockpick it if they have that leveled up.
Okay.
But as for the key, you loot it from Magistrate Bartholus.
I think I helped just enough.
Only one drops though, so you'll have to roll against your party members for it.
Worth.
And also in Stratholme, we have the mailbox keys.
Took the aggro from the hunter pit.
You'll find these locked mailboxes, and each one you open spawns undead mailman to fight you. And upon opening the third one, you get a boss called the Postmaster Malone, who drops some extra goodies, including...
Imagine having a set in the game that's dedicated to being a mailman. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you literally have a mailman set. It's fucking ridiculous, but here we are.
A set that increases your run speed slightly.
Okay.
You get the keys from the Stratholme courier, who can also be found right here in the dungeon. From the main entrance, just take a U-turn to your left at the first fork in the road. And note that these keys are consumed on use, so you'll have to get them every time if you want to summon the boss. And next, we have the Seal of Ascension, which is super important. This gives you access to the upper portion of the Blackrock Spire Raid.
We're about to get this shit right here, dude.
This door near the entrance, taking it left up the stairs.
Here it is,
this room
right
is
here.
locked unless you have the ring. To get it, you need to instead head right from the entrance and go through the lower portion. Just take the path that you see here, and taking a left at this point, you'll see a secret path hidden in the dark, and continuing up and climbing the ledge, you'll notice a hostile orc who's not attackable, but if you close in on him, he'll transform into a human named Valen. If you talk to him, he'll give you a quest that requires 4 items. 1, the Unadorned Seal of Ascension, which you just loot off of random trash mobs located inside the raid, and 3 gemstones. 1 of Spirestone, Smolderthorn,
this one.
and Blood
We need
Axe.
to get these right here.
The Spirestone drops off the Highlord
Yeah, we
Olmec
need
boss.
to get this.
For these, the map is kind of useless, so I'll just show you the path straight to them, with Valen as a starting point. This place is kind of a maze at first glance, but it's not too bad.
You got the same quest I do. Awesome.
For Smolderthorn, you need to take the path seen here. It's not too far away, just down a ramp until you enter the troll area, and keep going down until you reach the bottom, and head into this little side room.
It's funny to see this guide go on whenever it's literally the exact same shit that I've been doing. You know? Like, it's not like we've been doing this literally today. And here we are.
And lastly, you have the gemstone of Blood Axe, which you get from the Overlord Wormthalak, the final boss of the dungeon. The path is fairly linear, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding him. The tough part of this quest is that A, only one person can loot each gem, and B, they don't always drop, so it's best if you're in a coordinated guild run and funneling them to one person, and just farming over and over. If you're in a pug, it can take quite a while to complete this quest. For the follow-up portion, you need to travel to the Dustwallow Marsh, to this cave right here, and find an elite drake named Emberstrife, so bring some friends. You need to put the unforged seal on the ground, and then weaken him to about 10% until you can use a mind control orb to control him.
Yep.
You then need to use his flame breath on the unforged seal to forge it, and if you're successful, you just loot it from the ground, and you're good to kill the drake. As a reward, you're given the Seal of Ascension ring, which opens up the door to the upper Blackrock Spire, and as a bonus,
we're gonna be doing this right afterwards
in the arena, You can even use the ring to summon Velestraz the Red to assist you. Before we leave though, we have another summon boss in the lower
wait a minute,
portion of the raid.
wait a minute.
You need to put the unforged seal on the ground and then weaken him to about 10% until he can use a mind controller to control him.
Yeah?
You then need to use his flame breath on the unforged seal to forge it, and if you're successful, you just loot it from the ground and you're good to kill the Drake. As a reward, you're given the Seal of Ascension ring, which opens up the door to the upper Blackrock Spire, and as a bonus during the Rent Blackhand fight in the arena, you can even use the ring to summon Velestraz the Red to assist you.
Man,
Before we leave though, we have another summoned boss.
What the fuck, really? Holy
On
shit.
Omak, someone should have been able to loot his head. In between Dylan and Omak, if you looked carefully, you may have noticed some clickable pikes stacked up against the wall. If you combine one of these with Omak's head, you can summon an extra boss. You need to find the tribute pile, which is at that big ledge that you walked across on your way to the final boss. It's right after the spider area. Use this on the pile of skulls, and you'll fight a few ogres, and eventually Uruk Doomhall, who you need for a quest, and he also drops some bonus loot. It's a pretty tough event overall though, so just make sure that everyone is ready before you summon.
That shit was
Next,
actually
for
hard.
summonable bosses, we have the Brazier of Invocation.
Like that shit with the Uruk Doomhowl?
I couldn't get mana.
Well, yeah, because we were still in combat the whole fucking time because we had these mobs attacking us. Like, that's why it was
They
really,
hit
really
super
hard. Yeah, that was, like, actually hard. I was really surprised.
I don't think druids are good tanks, man. I don't know, like... Because, like, the thing is, though, like, I was doing it with, Burning Rod, right? And he's a warrior, so... My thing is, like, whenever they put the whenever any mob puts up a armor debuff on the druid, you can feel that shit, you know. But with the warrior, if they get that, you know, you have a fucking shield and block and shit. But I don't know, just talking out my ass, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I feel like druids can tank. I feel like they're probably like as good as warriors in terms of like, maybe not quite as good as warriors in terms of mitigating damage, but they're really good at holding AoE threat, and that's why I like. That's why I like them.
And the Banner of Provocation. These will only be obtainable in Phase 5 and onwards because they're tied to the Dungeon Set 2 quest line. Now, this is a huge quest chain, and luckily, I already have it covered in guide form, so I think it's just best to keep that separate. To sum it up though, through the quest chain, to obtain these new armor sets, you get these items to summon bonus bosses in a few different dungeons.
We did this one on
live
live
service.
service.
Provocation is used in Blackrock Depths Arena to summon the Dwarf Gladiator, Eldrin. Aside from the quest, you also get some unique treasure, so it's always worth it to take them out if you're there anyways. And as for the Brazier, you use this to summon Asalian at the end of the Darmal instance.
We did her as well.
Tyrion and Sathos at the end of the Stratholme
Wait, did we do this one? I think we did,
Cormac the Ogre, whom you summon in Rast Frostwhisper's room in Scholomance. And more Greyhoof, who can be summoned right here in War Master Voon's room in the lower Blackrock Spire. And lastly, you visit the upper Blackrock Spire and head to the Beast room, who can be found near the end of the raid. And here you summon Lord Velthalak, who's like the final boss of the chain.
He's the big dick.
All of these bosses drop their own unique loot, and the Banner and Brazier are infinite use, so it's always good to have these at the ready for some bonus loot whenever you're running these dungeons.
Still have them, boys.
And continuing the boss summons here, next up we have the Munskuglar. In Phase 4, when we get Zul'Gurub, you can summon a secret boss called Gazrenka. Just make sure that your fishing is all leveled up, and head to Nat Pigel's ruined camp inside the raid. It's in the northeastern area of the raid, next to the water, and you want to look for his tackle box to pick up a quest, and it'll take you to Nat in Dustwalla Marsh. Buy the Mudskunk lure for 1 gold, and head back to Zul'Gurub, and keep an eye out for Mudskunk pools. Fish up 5 total, and head back to the camp, and use the lure to summon Gazrenka.
Wow.
And lastly for summons, we have the Gurubashi Mojo Mat.
I never fucking... I literally thought this shit was like voodoo back then. I was like, you go into that area and there's like the spirit shit that's everywhere, and then there's like this imp that spawns, and I have no fucking idea how any of this is supposed to happen. So I just show up, and if he's there, he's there. It's great, and if not, it's the way it goes. I had no fucking clue.
Also right here in Zul'Gurub, you'll find a room called the Edge of Madness, and you use this to extinguish a Brazier, which summons an extra boss who will drop a reagent for one of the many class trinkets that came out with the raid, along with some unique loot once again.
Yep.
You need one each of these reagents, along with a voodoo doll to make your trinket, and I'll have a full list of all of those in the description. As for obtaining the mojo, behind this gong in the same room is an interactable tablet, and if you click on it with level 300 alchemy, you'll learn the recipe for the mojo. Before we get into the raids, I should also mention the profession keys, and those are the blacksmith keys and engineer charges, and also the rogue's lockpicking. Blacksmiths can make skeleton keys, and engineers can make Sephorium charges, and these, along with the lockpick skill, open up a variety of locked doors, chests, and lockboxes.
Okay.
They're not all powerful, as a lot of the high-level doors in the game require the actual keys. Plus, any blacksmith key or engineer charge is consumed on use, so there's also that gold investment. Still though, pretty handy to have at the ready, in case you're just missing keys or you run into a locked chest. And next, we have the Molten Core attunement. At the bottom of the Blackrock Mountain, find Lothos Riftwalker. Super straightforward quest here. You just need to go through the Blackrock Depths instance, and near the end, and find the Molten Core portal, and pick up a fragment. Just make sure that you don't accidentally zone in before grabbing it, since it does happen a lot. Here I'll show you the exact path, assuming that you have the Shadowforge key, which we covered earlier.
Okay. We did this one too. Easy.
Inside the Molten Core, to summon the Majordomo Executus boss, whom you need to defeat to summon Ragnaros, you need to douse all of the various runes. In each boss's room, you'll find the runes, and you need an item called the Aqua Quintessence to douse them. Find Duke Hydraxis, located right here on the island in eastern Nishara, and complete the Poisoned Water and Stormers and Rumblers quests. Pretty straightforward.
Okay.
After that,
you're not even on my quest, fuck you.
Which requires you to kill the Pyroguard Emberseer.
Oh yeah, he gives you Hydraxian Waterlord rep, doesn't he? Whenever you kill him.
For the next part, you need to kill some trash within the Molten Core.
Okay.
And the follow-up requires Honored with the Hydraxian Waterlords faction, which you get by killing trash and bosses within the raid. And lastly, you need to finish Hands of the Enemy, which requires the hands of all of the Salamander bosses, and that's Shazra, Luciferan, Johannes, and Sulfuran.
Okay, you need all of their hands.
After turning in all of these, you can talk to Duke Hydraxis to receive one essence, which will douse one rune and is consumed on use, so you have to go back for another one each time.
That's so fucking
Luckily,
annoying,
though,
dude.
when you eventually reach Revered with the
that, dude?
Hydraxian Waterlords, you're
Holy
awarded with
shit.
the Eternal Quintessence, which has infinite uses and a 1 hour cooldown. And next up, we have the Blackwing Lair attunement. In Phase 3, when we get this raid, to zone in, you have to complete a really short quest chain. From the entrance of the Blackrock Spire, head down this hallway and take a left to find the Scarshield Quartermaster. Kill him to loot the Black Hand's command letter, which gives you details on how to zone into the raid. You need to click this orb at the end of the same hallway, but to do that first, you need to attune yourself. It's pretty simple. You just need to clear through the upper Blackrock Spire and click the orb behind Dracasath.
This quest isn't up right now on Classic. I literally relogged last night because I thought that it wasn't working for me. I couldn't figure out. I was like, why the fuck is this not working, dude? And I'm so dumb, dude.
And from this point forward, you can just use that orb outside the raid to zone
yeah,
in.
it's in Phase 3. I know.
The
I know it is.
Encourage raid also technically has a key. It's pretty unique though because it's server-wide. When Phase 5 hits, an event called the Encourage War Effort will begin, and each faction needs to gather a certain amount of resources to launch.
Holy shit! Why do they need almost 500,000 fish? Like 500,000 fish? The fuck is that for? 200,000, 2 million linen bandage? God damn! To eat? Fuck that, I want a steak. Don't want that nasty ass garbage.
An attack on the gates.
Fuck fish.
Once everyone is ready, you need to ring a gong located right outside to open them and fend off the Karaji army. But to do this, you need a special item called the Scepter of the Shifting Sands.
Okay.
This is a huge undertaking, requiring rep grinding,
That's gonna be
raid
me, dude.
clearing, outdoor world
I'll be
bosses,
doing this right here.
and lots of globetrotting. Again, for the sake of saving time, this is better left for its own video.
Yeah,
I do have one made already, and I'll have that linked
Takes a
in the
long
description.
fucking time to get through that whole thing.
Do note, though, that you have the option of just waiting for someone else to get it if it seems like it's too much for you. And lastly, for this video, we have the Naxxramas attunement.
We'll
Phase
be
6 will see the
exalted.
Naxxramas raid released.
You get this shit for free if you're exalted with Arcane Dawn. It's like, it's super easy.
To zone in, like most other raids, you need to be attuned. Luckily, this one isn't too bad though. Just find the Archmage Angela de Santos, located right here in the Eastern Plaguelands. She'll charge you money and reagents to attune you, giving you a bigger discount the higher reputation level you are with the Argent Dawn faction. At Honored or below, it costs 60 gold, 5 Arcane Crystals, 2 Nexus Crystals, and 1 Righteous Orb. And at Revered you need 30 gold, 2 Arcane Crystals, and 1 Nexus. And at Exalted it's free. Wait.
Yep.
You're gonna let me save the world from the Lich King's #1 lieutenant for free? Gee, thanks a lot. And that's it. Those are most of the main keys, summoned bosses, and attunements that you can obtain in Classic World of Warcraft.
I'm actually so glad you did this video because I had no fucking idea about half of this shit, man. To be honest, like I'm so glad.
Again, aside from Onyxia and the Scepter of the Shifting Sands, which again I think are best saved for their own videos. If you think I missed any, by all means let me know. I've been adding to this list for a few months now, but it has been a while, so I wouldn't be shocked if I did miss something. If so, I'll add it to a comment down below, so make sure that you check that out. As you can tell, it's no small task, but going through the trouble of hunting them all down will make you a hero to your group mates more often than not. It's a big world out there.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Maybe
add
say
one
that
to
it's
him just
key
so he
to
has a
prepare
spot
for any
for
challenges that lie ahead. I hope that you found the video helpful. Like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay.
Peace.
Alright. Alright. Okay, those are the keys to success, boys.
Farewell for now, mortals.
That's good,
I
huh?
hope you enjoyed today's video.
What's up? Let's get it done. Hopefully this will be good. Okay. WoW patch history. What the fuck?
Smooth the groove!
What the fuck is this?
He was in our guild. He was in MAGA.
Really? Okay. Holy shit. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another video for you in my Patch by Patch series. It's been a good bit since I did one of these. In the last one, we covered patch 10, which had some pretty major stuff going on. The level cap was increased to 60.
That's big.
The raid grouping system was implemented, and we saw the release of the Stratholme dungeon and the Blackrock Spire raid, and also the Winter Spring, Western, and Eastern Plagueland zones, and the last remnants of that old skill point system finally saw its end.
Thank God.
I wanted to make this video a twofer because these patches are kind of small in comparison.
Okay.
They're the final 2 patches before release, so it makes sense that
This
they're
is a
not
great
doing
song.
these huge sweeping changes. Just trying to smooth out the more major systems and get some semblance of.
Can we go back and just look at this right here?
They're the final
Just
2 patches
1 second. I want to
before
show you
release,
guys something
so
here.
it makes sense that they're not doing these huge sweeping changes.
Oh, next
Just
one.
trying to smooth out.
See, this is a vanilla vanilla warrior right here. Look at this guy right here. He's literally doing nothing.
The more major systems and get
He's
some
actually
semblance.
just AFK. He's just sitting there AFK. That's how you know this is actual vanilla WoW footage. Like, if you go and you watch the old vanilla WoW videos, people everywhere are just fucking AFK. They're not even doing anything. They're vanilla WoW raiders. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're backpedaling around, etc. It's awful.
Oh, but you
stability,
better
I
not take
guess.
a ret paladin. Oh,
Starting
no,
with the
no,
most
no.
major stuff.
That's
though,
right.
I'd
first
much
up,
rather have
we
people
the
just
new
AFK in the raid.
Animations. By now
Can't
in
have
the
a ret
series,
paladin.
Well, to be fair, though, if a warrior was AFKing in the raid, as long as he was auto-attacking, he'd probably be doing about the same damage as the ret paladin would, considering they're
Yeah,
using the same
except
tool set.
He wasn't though.
Okay. Wait, what the fuck is... Ugh.
That's
probably noticed that all of the models are just slightly different than what you're used to for Classic World of Warcraft.
She's high.
The humans skip leg day.
What the
maybe the
fuck?
sitting emotes are different. Dwarves have a different posture and do that when they take fall damage.
Oh my
This
god.
patch saw an update.
Is it
to
bone
most of
breaking?
these
Holy
models,
shit.
And we ended up with races that we all know and love. People ask all the time for an option for new models and animations for the re-release of Classic, but I'm still waiting on those original female trolls, man. Like, seriously, who looked at this and said, nice, looks good, 2 arms, 2 legs, makes sense to me. As you can see, the Torrens had a hunchback Notre Dame thing going on, but don't be fooled by their large stature. As it turns out, they're quite limber.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you look closely, the Night Elf breasts are 50% more bouncy, and female gnomes are 50% more bouncy. If you look closely, the Night Elf breasts are 50.
Okay. We don't.
Wow! Yo, true, dude. We're just. Listen, we're. Wait, and they got rid of that? Why did they get rid of that? Sounds great.
People got offended.
I guess so.
And female gnomes are.
What the fuck is that? Oh my god.
Yeah, let's just move on, huh? So, new models and animations to make things look a bit prettier in this patch.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Next though, we have Warlock talents. Not actually the final trees to be added to the game, as the release patch 1.1 would see the reveal of the Paladin and Hunter trees. Now unfortunately, I can't find the original .11 trees. As you can see, the Demonology tree has yet to be implemented, so we'll just have to settle for the .12 talents instead.
It's about the same shit.
As far as I know, these are all the same.
Yeah,
it's
these are all
just
the
that
same.
we have the Demonology tree here.
Okay.
As for the original Warlock trees though, it's surprisingly similar to the final 1.12 talents.
Yep.
It seems like they hit it right on the money for what they wanted for the Warlock.
There you go.
For the other classes, we saw some strange things, such as that pesky troll regeneration racial rearing its ugly head.
Wait, what is this here? Pesky troll regeneration? Let me go back and look at that again.
We saw some
I want to see
things, such as that pesky troll regeneration.
Combat endurance. Wait, this is a warrior thing? A passive ability that allows your hit point regeneration from spirit to work while in combat. Wait, what the fuck? That would have been insane.
That would have been OP as fuck.
That would have been amazing. Holy fuck, man. And they got rid of this? Oh my god. This is awesome. Spirit stacking warriors.
Its ugly head. But for
damn.
Warlock, it's pretty similar. One thing I noticed is that their ruin talent used to be called Holocaust, so that was changed for obvious.
Well, I guess I'm picking them up for you.
Okay. Okay, dude.
Reasons. And
how
here
did
you
that
can see
get
that Warlocks have a nice buff to getting stoned, so that's always nice. Speaking of which though, and this was something that persisted through Classic, but their Firestones actually gave some bonus damage to melee attacks, which is kind of strange.
Oh, that's good, just in case you want to
sort
get
of
in
a
there.
melee element to them.
That's a really good idea.
Which might seem odd, but I think it's something that came more from the Dungeons and Dragons scene, which I'm sure influenced World of Warcraft quite a bit.
Yeah.
If only there was an original class designer still around to ask these questions. Well, it just so happens that there is. Kevin Jordan was one of the original designers of the game, and the man responsible for all of this stuff.
What the fuck?
He was the main class designer for Vanilla World of Warcraft, and he streams quite a
shit.
bit on Twitch.tv, so I want to give him a quick plug here. Definitely check him out if you want to hear some perspective of the game in both its current and classic state, or just an entertaining stream in general.
What the fuck was that?
But anyways, another big change is in classic state, or just an entertaining stream in general.
What the fuck was that?
But anyways, another big change is the addition of new loot methods, which were pretty important. We have the group loot, which brings up a loot window whenever an item drops. This was before the need and greed era, as the only two options
was that
were
trading
roll or
back
pass.
in the day?
That was only added in patch 1.7.
Oh my god!
Where they distinguished between need and greed. Not
This
to be
game was so
confused with the
rudimentary
need
back
before
then.
Greed loot option, which just auto passes items that certain players can't even use.
Okay.
So just some added loot protection here.
Makes
Most
sense.
guilds, if they were smart, would opt for the master looter and just use third-party methods.
They
of
sure would.
distributing items such as dragon killing points, or DKP for short,
Yep.
which
That's
was the
what we
loot
did.
system that was first adapted in the EverQuest game, actually. Basically, you get these points for killing raid bosses or donating to the guild, and you use them as a currency to bid on items.
That was like the most pay-to-win shit ever back in the day. Whenever you were able to spend extra you were able to get extra DKP by contributing things into the guild bank, and then you just had everybody, like these same people that would just like buy the rewards, basically. I would get so goddamn mad about that.
Against other guild members. Players would also use loot councils, where the higher-ranking members decide who gets what. And for those who liked complete anarchy, you also had the manual/rolling system. But
that was always really great.
Stuff like this would happen.
Oh, dude.
What are you doing?
Oh, dude.
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
How did shit never drops?
I'm going to kill myself right now. See ya.
Oh,
Rest
man.
assured, though, no matter what you did, drama quickly
That was
arose
great.
over who should get these items and who shouldn't.
Me.
Epics were epic back then, to say the least.
Yeah, I'd say
While
so.
leveling, you mostly
More
had
so than they
greens
are now.
and maybe a couple of blues here and there. So
Right.
seeing a purple was extremely rare. So at the end game, these would be coveted ultra-powerful
Yeah, that's a
items
big
that
perpy boy.
everyone wanted. And with 40-man raids, there simply weren't enough to go around. Friendships forged over the course of years fell victim to the power of the mighty pixel.
You piece of shit! You piece of shit! I can't believe you. Oh my god.
Wow, man.
And he has my motherfucking gloves too.
So they did their best to provide a means for players
God,
to hunt them
dude.
out in an
I
organized
love it.
fashion. But ultimately, it was up to the guilds and players.
Dude,
But next, going into
if
the
Blizzard wants to make the game better, they should just add Master Woot back in. And then make it to where whenever you join a pug, you have to be in voice chat. And that way, as soon as somebody would ninja some shit, you'd have people screaming on the fucking mic, getting so mad. You would have so many new videos of people yelling and screaming at each other. It would just be amazing. I genuinely think Blizzard should make it to where you basically, like, they should incentivize, like, maybe they'll give you, like, 20% more, like, artifact power or something if you join voice chat to get people using it more often. I'd fucking love that. Like, being able to talk shit to other people in online games, that's why they were made.
For minor stuff, 2011, the undead race lost their ability to speak common, instead now having gutter speak as their main
Yeah,
language.
because they're inferior.
We talked about this earlier in the series, so I won't stick on this for too long. But of course, once being human, undead players did retain their fluency in the common tongue, and they were able to understand and talk to other Alliance players.
Wow.
It was removed probably to
That
maintain
seems
that
kinda
faction
dumb.
separation, which was more important back then, and probably because players weren't playing that nice, I like to imagine. Another funny change of thought is that water walking no longer works on lava. Lava was very deadly back then, as you'd imagine.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'd like
lava
to
was
think
just
that
water,
some poor
basically.
shaman not reading the patch notes and just jumping into a pool of lava to their doom.
Fuck them. That's
Well,
what they get if you don't know how to lava jump.
Dirty horde.
Yeah.
And this is kind of off topic here, but a little fun fact for you is
Okay.
that the original way to zone into the Molten Core was to go through this window right here.
Yep,
in the
yeah, they
Black Rock
jump right
Mountain.
through the little window.
If things were working correctly, you'd zone right in. However, back then, there were issues with instances, and sometimes you'd fail to load, and you'd then be dumped into the lava instead to certain death. While some
There's a
developers
little bit of
just
RNG,
laughing his
right?
ass off,
Make the game a
probably.
bit more exciting.
We know your game, Kevin. Don't try to hide it.
Yeah.
And another issue was, at first, due to their size, Torrent weren't able to even zone in into the raid because they couldn't fit through the window. This was all remedied in patch 1.3
Oh,
though,
they didn't
when
need
they
to
added
fix that.
Lawful
That
Swift
sounds
Walker
great.
to simply teleport players
Yeah,
inside
that's
the raid.
amazing. I love that.
And another trolly thing here is that this patch updated the mage portals. They now require you to click on them to go to the city, which, if I'm understanding this correctly, previously it was just based off of proximity. So you probably had these mages opening portals on unsuspecting party members. Hey, that's one way to
Dude, if you fucking imagine if we had that and we could just find a group of mages to just like all converge on one person, like a 40-man raid, and just make portals all around them, so they literally can't fucking go anywhere. Like, and make the portals to like fucking Exodar or some dumb shit like that. That would be so goddamn fucking amazing.
get
Yeah,
loot.
portal prison.
Just wait until the boss is almost dead and port the unsuspecting Warlock to Darnassus.
Yep, and then you get the loot.
As you can see, this patch was also when they removed armor type from cloaks. Ever wonder why there are so many cloaks in the game, especially early on, Or why
Yeah.
some were specified as chain but didn't give any bonus armor?
That's a really good
Well,
point.
it's all a remnant of this old cloak system.
Holy shit, I never even thought of that.
But
Wow.
that's about it for patch .11.
God damn.
Like I said though, I also wanted to cover patch .12.
Holy shit, I had no
The biggest
idea.
change here probably is the addition of durability to the game. This
Oh,
is another
no.
point to bring up in regards to the
Oh,
casual nature of
no.
the game back then. Once again,
Yeah,
bringing
this
up Star Wars
sucked.
Galaxies here, this game also had a durability system, but it was much more harsh. If an item's condition drained all of the way, it was broken forever.
Wait,
You
what?
could repair it in this game as well, but it wasn't a guaranteed
That
thing.
sucks.
There were a few outcomes.
actually
and
fucking
that's one.
garbage.
The item is fully repaired. 2, the item is repaired,
Oh my
but the
God.
max durability is reduced. And 3, you fail completely, and the item just breaks right then and there.
That's
So
it sounds like
any
Black
item
Desert.
you get would eventually break. Can you
Okay.
imagine in World of Warcraft getting your Hand of Ragnaros, and then 2 weeks later you lose it because you failed in a repair? Again, it just goes to show that during the time,
Hey,
World of
that's
Warcraft
great.
was aimed for that casual market back then, and it says a lot about where the genre has gone as a whole, since as you know, people look back to Classic
Yeah,
as
it's a
being,
race
quote,
to the
hardcore
bottom.
in many aspects compared to current.
How can we cater to
But
the biggest
durability
idiot
is
possible?
still super important because it was the biggest gold sink back then, and probably still is today in fact.
I fucking hated that shit, man. Like, as a warrior back then, like, part of the warrior's cost was actually having to repair your gear because plate gear would just cost a lot more gold to repair. And I remember, like, whenever I would have to repair and it would take me 1 gold, like, if it ever went over 1 gold, I got mad. Like, I immediately got mad because I thought to myself, I'm like, man, this is not my fault. I did not die for this. Like, I mean, this is not my fault that we died before. It's somebody else's fault. And I wasn't molding back then because I still had hair. I was like 16 years old, but I was pissed. Let me say that for sure.
Spells, professions, and mount training were all expensive back then, but you would eventually max all of them out. Repairs, on the other hand, were present at every stage of the game, at level 1 and at level 60 in Naxxramas rating, and they were quite harsh for more heavily armored players as I recall.
They sure
It was
were.
common back then for guilds to fund the repair costs for their
This is such fucking bullshit, dude. Like, a cloth wearer would full repair for like 70 silver. If you're in plate
I'm gonna
armor,
wrap up
like
this
that shit
quest
right
here
there on the
for
screen,
this
for
bot.
like 5 gold. Like, imagine
And
spending
then
5 gold in classic WoW.
gonna
just
look
to
up
repair
some
your shit.
beta abilities to see if they're actually in the
Because,
code here.
Well, they died the most. And
Yeah.
usually being protection, it was more time consuming for them to grind gold.
I
outside
made
of
the guild
raids.
pay for my repairs.
Certainly something that would have outraged.
Usually
the
everything in the
investors.
beta in this game is still in the
Gold was
code. They
already
just
pretty hard to
it's
come
all
by.
unused
Yeah, it was.
assets.
But next, we have the release of the Scholomance dungeon.
Oh, dude.
In the previous episode, we previewed the Isle of Caradero, and we talked a bit about how it may have turned out to be an outside questing area. But in this patch, we got the
I wish they had
Caradero
done
we
that.
all
That would've
know and
been cool.
love. And Scholomance was officially added as a dungeon, and it was a good choice because it was one of the more iconic dungeons in the game, serving
Dude,
as a
I fucking
school
love
of
that dungeon.
necromancy and shadow magic.
Like,
for
I wish they'd bring
Kel'Thuzad's
this back.
minions. This place held the iconic Tier 0 headpieces for each class. Everyone wanted
I still think Blizzard should do that shit, honestly. Like, they should make it to where back, like, for 1 week, or like 2 weeks each year, you can go back and do the old dungeons and try to farm them for the transmog gear. And that way, like, everybody would fucking just sit there and wait for
NPCs
that
have it,
week. It would
apparently.
be like vanilla WoW. It would be like, not really the anniversary, but like, imagine like vanilla WoW time walking. It would happen in like July or something like that. So everybody would be off school. So they would bring back all of the old dungeons with all of the old loot tables, and you could go back to there and you would have that one shot. And this is the most controversial thing that I've said. They could bring back Naxxramas 40-man, scale everybody down to where Naxxramas is like just ridiculously fucking hard, and give you 1 shot a year for Corrupted Ashbringer. And allow you to use Master Loot in the dungeon.
That spell isn't ready yet.
You guys say no. Imagine how mad. Imagine how fucking mad. People would probably try to kill each other. If a game is so good that you want to kill somebody over it, that's a good game.
It's not lying.
the head and shoulders.
Technically
back then,
correct.
Mainly because they're the most noticeable. But the dungeon as a whole is impeccable, as with most dungeons in Classic. This is where the Paladins finished that great quest chain
Oh,
for their
fuck,
epic
was it
mount.
Rattlescale?
You'd head
What
into
was
the
his name?
basement here and
Rattlegore.
defend a
Yeah,
phylactery
Rattlegore.
for multiple waves of enemies.
Oh, this was so
each being
fucking
vulnerable
annoying.
to certain Paladin seals.
Yeah, you can't
They
do that one
climaxed
anymore,
with the
unfortunately.
Darkmaster Gambling boss, who was one of the few multiple phase bosses in the game at that point.
I fucking
teleporting
hated that
players
boss.
into the surrounding rooms and locking them inside until they kill all of the zombies. He had a chance to drop this staff, which was highly sought after by casters back then.
I never did that.
Like I said, anything purple would be like an oh snap moment.
Yeah, it's like getting
Everyone would
legendary
stop
now.
in their tracks and try to come up with ways to justify just why it's ultimately a hunter weapon.
Yeah, basically.
Secrets were abound, summonable bosses, a key to collect.
Kithronos the
and it
Herald,
also
or
held an
Kithrono. I don't know how to
alchemy
actually say his name.
You needed
But,
this
the
to make
Herald guy.
flasks back then, and prior to the Blackwing Lair raid, it was the only one in the game, so you'd always see alchemists wanting to run this place for the table
Yep.
alone.
Yep. To
The
make the
Mage Fire
flasks.
Chasm dungeon was also added in this patch.
Oh, this is such a dumb
This
dungeon.
one was alright.
I
don't
hated
know,
this
it's a horde
dungeon.
dungeon, so I don't think anyone really cares about that, right?
Nobody cares about
It's
it.
a pretty straightforward place.
You just
but it
kill
makes
this guy
sense
and it's
since
over.
It's a low-level
That's
dungeon.
all there is to it.
Speaking of which, though, a change with the Superior Alliance dungeon, the Dead Mines,
True.
is that the miners were made to be no longer elite.
Dude, imagine if they were elite. That shit would take forever. Holy
There were a
fuck.
ton of these guys, so this place would have taken you hours to get through, I'd
Yeah,
imagine.
holy shit. I'm thinking
And
about
another
that.
change
Wow.
here is that you can no longer complete quests while in a raid. Not really too
Oh,
much
of
to say about this
course,
one.
of course.
It's kind of interesting, I thought, that it was possible at one point.
Oh,
Obviously,
shit.
Some issues with balance, though. And
Yeah,
here
I
we
could
also
say so.
have finishing duels, now removed.
He's probably gonna die now too. He doesn't have any damage to back him up.
Were pretty fun to duel. since
Oh,
they would
yeah,
win,
dude.
you'd
They
be
get you
stopped
down
at
to 1 health. The
and
dots
then a
just
dot
finish you
ticks
off.
and actually kills you.
That's perfect.
Maybe that's why they gave a 30-minute cooldown to their banish spell. Some developer lost one too many duels to a warlock, I'm thinking.
Wait, a 30-minute
But speaking
cooldown
of
on
which,
Banish?
They finally made it have no cooldown this
What the
patch.
fuck?
And
When does-
also removed the
When was
reagent
that a
cost.
thing?
I didn't even get a
We have
missed
an
call.
interesting
What the
change,
fuck?
Holy
and that
shit.
spirit no longer affects item proc percentage.
Okay.
As you know, this ended up just being for health and mana regeneration.
Kathy from Natural Dog Company. Wanted to call since you've ordered supplements, balms, or treats from us in the past year. We're running our highest discount of the year. 30% off of everything on our site, plus a free gift with it.
They're calling me now? It's pretty old fashioned, yeah?
I need you. I need a target.
And was one of the weaker stats for most classes in the game in general, aside from leveling maybe. So I guess this is why we saw so much of it in the game. This was all over the Shadowcraft set, which seemed like a big waste,
Holy
but
shit.
at one point it was more powerful, and when they removed its effect on
Oh,
proc rates,
yeah.
they just neglected to change any of the
I
items
remember that
had
trinket
it.
was fucking ridiculous.
But that's pretty
I
much
might
it.
die
Yes,
again.
I think
For
it
each
was.
of these videos, I'd also like to add a section at the end of players reacting to all of this stuff. There do exist archives of the forums during the time.
Oh,
Patch
no,
0.11
dude.
was September
I bet the people were probably pissed back then,
2004,
too.
and 0.12 was October 11th. Unfortunately, you can't look at the actual threads, but the titles still give us enough
Okay.
to work with, so let's take a look
Yeah, they're
and see
mad
what
enough.
the players are thinking.
Okay. This is unacceptable. You can find the same titles now. World of Warcraft will be the worst game ever. N64 graphics are better than WoW graphics. True. I hear that WoW is same old, same
Well,
old.
damn.
Yep.
Well, it looks like the internet was pretty much the same back then.
Is anybody
These people
actually
act as
buying
if World
this?
of Warcraft took their imaginary girlfriends or something. Wait.
Make women
make
less
women
naked?
less naked? Okay, now you've gone too far.
Yeah, get
I
this
also
guy
like
out of
this
here.
one. Such eloquence in communicating
Monthly
his frustrations
fee.
with Blizzards.
Wait, they were almost reeing back then? Oh my god.
Looking at the other posts, it was
How much
actually
will the
quite a
stupid fee
controversial
cost
thing
for
back
WoW?
then, which surprised me. It seemed like it was common practice with any MMO. I think a big reason is that there were a lot of fans coming from the
Warcraft 3 was free.
games, so they were used to that one-time purchase setup.
Yeah, of course.
But you have to give credit to Larson74 here, asking the real questions, although I think we all know the answer.
Yes,
Here we
they
see
will.
a thread about durability. Like
That's
I
good. I'm
said,
glad that
players were
somebody is
probably pretty
paying
unhappy
attention
see
to
it
what
added to the
counts,
game,
what matters.
And it's a shame that we can't get into the actual thread and see what... Okay, now it's really a shame. Is anyone actually buying this? If only you knew, Anvil Man.
If only you knew. Yeah.
But that's about it.
I didn't know all
This
that.
concludes
Holy
our
shit.
coverage of pre-release
I
World of
missed the early
Warcraft.
2000s.
We're just getting started
Yeah,
though.
they were
because in the
great.
next video, we'll
They're
talk about the
fucking
day
amazing,
of
actually.
November 23rd,
Here, I'll start the sites one.
2004. A date that changed the world of Warcraft. I hope that you found the video interesting or entertaining.
It was a
Like
good
it if you
video.
liked it. and I'll
I
see you
did
in the
actually
next
like
one.
this video a lot. It was
Peace.
really calm and chill, and it was funny. They really should do that. I feel like if they added like
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video.
if they added a
See you
boob
again
size slider in
soon.
WoW, I feel like a lot of people would actually get really upset about that though. That's the problem. Like, but if they ever did do that, I would be happy. Let me just say that. I would be very happy. Can we start summons, guys? Let's go ahead and just start summons and get this done. Inside Blizzard, a new era for WoW.
Alright, it is Tuesday. We are on our way for the first time. We're in the Uber right now with all our stuff. By now, you guys have probably seen the tweet that we're going to be filming today.
Yeah.
I wrote a couple of days ago and was hoping Ian would
Nice
be
hair,
fine with
yeah.
it. A little nervous to see how they respond to us being there. This is really unprecedented for not just us, but them as well. They've never let anybody have the access we're going to have. We're hoping they're going to take us behind the scenes. We'll have to
But
sign
this guy
NDAs,
can't afford to
so
fucking
there'll be
carve his own.
Dragonflight stuff and maybe even the next expansion as well. So one of the things is we noticed maybe little nerves getting closer with the people we're going to be interviewing. They're not trained to be in front of camera and they might be a little worried about what some people might say with such long form discussions as we're having, but honestly the conversations we've had in the last day or so, everyone seems really excited to do this and to show the change that's happened at Blizzard, which is...
I think most people at Blizzard, I mean, you've got to remember, they just got audited by the federal fucking government. So, like, any of the bad boys, or anybody who is probably problematic at Blizzard, they're gone. Like, they're probably gone. I'm sure there's a handful of them that somehow managed to stick around. But I think, like, 90% of them, 90% plus, probably fucking deleted.
Our role right now is what has changed, what happened. We know what happened, all the allegations.
Well, Bobby, you gotta remember, Bobby is rich, okay? So, like, that's a completely different set of rules. So, like, the people
true.
that were getting fired, they're not rich. They're not helicopter billionaire rich. Like, yeah, maybe they got a nice house, but, like, they're not helicopter rich. Bobby is helicopter rich. So, he doesn't have to follow the rules.
The Shadowlands not doing very well, and their previous expansions kind of going in a downhill trend.
Alright, I need to concentrate here. I'm looking up old abilities, see if they're still in the game. Trip. This is just an example. It's obviously not the only one I'm going to add. Spell 101, that sounds about right. Let's see if they're in here. Spell template, how about that? Okay, that's good. That'll tell me if it's at least in the game. Yep, spell 101. Trip. About Crusader Strike. See, there's like so many different ones. I'm not sure which one's the right one. Oh no, I see. Search all results. I'm assuming it would be a really low number, but I guess not. Wish there was a spell ID. Yeah, I don't get that at all. Oh. Looks like I got wrecked. I'm gonna go ahead and end my stream because I gotta go to work. Just gonna go back to my body here and res and hide and save. And I'll be back in about 5 hours. Noodles.